Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my new 6-week countdown to Halloween series for 2020. I have the cutest owl candy dispenser. I really wanted to use the stamps to decorate my box with, so I've got all the Halloween images on here. So this is the stamp set we're using called Have a Hoot. There are dies to match, but we're not going to be using the dies. Instead, I'm going to be using the Hippo and Friends dies, and it's this particular one that I want, which cuts out a little aperture here, so I can use it to thread my ribbon through to open the candy dispensing part of the box. The inks I'm using are Pumpkin Pie, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. The stamping blends are Cinnamon Cider Combo, Pumpkin Pie Combo, Creme Cake Combo, and Smoky Slate, the dark one. And from the Regal Stampin' Rack markers, Garden Green. A sponge dauber and the knitted organdy ribbon. These have got little silvery sparks in it. You also need the detailed trio punch to round the corners of the lid. First, I'm going to run through the layers that you need for the box. So you need 3 basic black layers for the back and the 2 sides, and that measures 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. You need 3 pieces, and in metric that's 4.4 by 7 centimeters. For the lid and the upper half of the box, or the upper 2/3 of the box, you need 2 pieces in basic black, 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. In metric that's 4.4 by 4.4 centimeters. Then for the pull-up part here, that measures 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. That's 1.9 centimeters by 4.4 centimeters. The bits you need for stamping are the 2 sides, and this measures 1 5/8 by 2 5/8. That's 4.1 centimeters by 6.7 centimeters for the box sides. For the lid and the front, here and here, these measure 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. That's 4.1 centimeters by 4.1 centimeters. And for the sentiment at the bottom, it's a teeny weeny piece that measures 5/8 by 1 5/8. So that's 1.6 by 4.1 centimeters. We need a piece of cardstock. In Europe, our A4 sheets aren't wide enough, so I have to cut it from a 12 by 12 inch sheet, and the overall size of this is 9 inches by 8.5 inches. So 9 inches by 8.5. But if you live in the US, you won't need to do that. You could probably just use an A4 sheet. You need a scoreboard and a stylus. Now the stylus has a larger ball end and a thinner ball end. The larger one is for lighter weight paper like designer series paper or patterned paper, but the smaller end is for cardstock. Now it's important that you score on the short side first, so that's the side that is 8.5 inches. You start at 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6.5 inches. In metric that's 1.3, 6.4, 11.4, and 16.5 centimeters. Rotate your cardstock clockwise a 1/4 turn so that the 1/2 inch score line is at the top. Now there's a bit of partial scoring as well. That's why you need to do the short side first. So we'll start off, now the long side is at the top, we score at 1/2 inch all the way down at 1.5 inches all the way down. Then you only partially score at 3 inches. This is to create the score lines for where to cut your tabs. So you score down to the third score line. So it's the 1/2 inch, that one and that one. So you're scoring up to that score line. Okay, and then run your stylus at the 3-inch mark to the bottom. It's going off camera now, and you score from the bottom up to that score line, the first score line from the bottom. Okay, then at the 3.5 inch mark you score all the way down to the bottom. Then you partially score at 4.5. It's up to here, your 1/2 inch score line there, and the next one along. Alright, and at the 6.5 inch score line you score all the way down, partially score at 7 inches down to the third score line, so it's the 1/2 inch score line, this one, and then down to here. Run your stylus down from the 7th inch groove down to the bottom and score from the bottom edge up to that first score line, like you did for the other side. Last score line to do on the long side is 8.5 inches, and you score all the way down for that one. Next I'm going to burnish the score line so you can see it a bit better. I can't obviously do all of them because there's some that are just only partially scored. Orient your cardstock so that the 1/2 inch and that 1.5 inch score line is facing you at the bottom. Can you see these two partial score lines here where you've missed a panel there? Well, you want to just snip this section here. Okay, so it's the second one in from the side that hasn't got the 1/2 inch score line. So your 1/2 inch score line on the short side is on your left, so it's the second one in here. Where you've made the snip here with the 1.5 inch and 1/2 inch score line on your left, you need on the third panel from the bottom to score a diagonal line from here down to there. Okay, and then on this side you skip this panel and you want to score from here down to there, like that. Line it up with the 1.5 inch score line with the 6 inch score line, and I put my stylus there, swivel my paper, put that back so I can see where I'm scoring to, and score down to there. Okay, now I want to score from here, so I've lined up my paper there and swivel it, oops, and position it so that point is along the groove as well, 6 inch groove, and then score down there. I've got a guide now of where to cut. Forgot to record it. I've cut the diagonal from there down to here, and from here down to there. Fold that back, and I need to make a snip all the way down to that score line there, which is 1, 2, 3, the 4th score line, with the tab facing me and the triangles here. Now with the tab and the two triangular pieces on the right, I'm going to count 5 panels in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to cut down here. Okay, I'll cut that piece away as well. Then from this side, I want to cut this bit away, this rectangle here, so that's 1, 2, 3 panels. And the 2 panels in, 1, 2. So you can see the lid coming together. So you need a tab there, so you cut along here and then turn it round and cut right up to there. So there's your tab, and again cut right up to the end, and you need that tab, so you want to cut along here. You see it coming together? You want to cut along here. You need that tab, and you need to cut your aperture here. And this is your stopper to stop the lid from sliding out. So fold that back, and you want to cut up to that score line to create your tab. And across there. So that's your box dispenser done. If you like, you can take a screenshot of this template I have. This is the long side with all the score lines on, and that's the short side. Okay, and here's another screenshot you can take of where to cut and where to score. So that's how your final box should look. Don't mite at this end, because that's the aperture where your box, see how it comes together? So that needs to be straight. Now you can bring in your detailed trio punch to corner round the flap of the lid. And I will mite the corners in here for the tabs. We'll also need to corner round the lid, which is at the opposite end. Now would be a good time to glue your matte layers on. This hasn't got a pattern, so it doesn't matter. I forgot to miter this bit, and that's the lid, so let's do that as well. I probably should use double-sided tape. I did for the other one, but just for speed I'm doing it with glue now. Pop some glue on the bottom. This is going to attach to the base. Oh bother, you know what I forgot to do? Cut that. I'll just get a bit of stamping done while I'm waiting for that to dry. I need to go and die cut this, and I'll do it off camera, right in the middle of the lid here. I'm going to just snip off a tiny little bit, it's only about an inch, and I'm going to thread it through the hole here, front to back, with a loop at the front, just long enough for it to be able to pull, and prise that apart and pop some tear and tape on it. Okay, hopefully that's secure. Fold that together, and these are the stoppers for the box not to completely unravel. Make sure that it's bonded with the bottom of the box. Might help if I had a long ruler. So let's try and stamp that inside. Get him in the middle. I'm going to grab my sponge dauber and, starting from the outside, just add a bit of colour on the edges. I'm going to colour the branches with the cinnamon cider and the owl with the crumb cake combo and the spider with the smoky slate, and I'll probably speed this up. I'll do the owl in the crumb cake and his cloak and pumpkin pie. And lastly, the pumpkin in pumpkin pie and the owl in crumb cake again. So all that's left to do is just to glue this on. I already did the sentiment. Just pop some sticks in there. There's your candy dispenser. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and you don't find the cutting of the box too confusing. As I said, take a screenshot of it to give you a guideline of where to cut. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!